It is the first week of April. Got some wind as always at the coast. But my first row is onions. I hope this does better than last year, where in one of my rows I have two, or 1.5, plus the garlic. The moles crawled under it and forced my onions up sooner than I would have liked to pull them out. And this is Pecan Corners, Tina and Paul from Pecan Corner Channel, that big fat Texas okra that I am 8 ways of excited about. So there they are, coming up. Very exciting to a gardener. Then I've had a celebrity tomato seedling get big enough, some red peppers, red bell peppers, and I keep a lot of tags from when I used to buy them grown, so I can have 2. My butternut squash is not arising over there, but I got my other seedlings. I think those are better boys, big boys, something like that. My husband's blackberry patch, which is behind that netting, has greened up. We were afraid it was dead. And then I just have a little blueberry there. And then here's my little lettuce patch, coming up nicely. And then I've got a row of peas, which are thriving, very happy. They are not penny pois peas, however. I am ordering some of those seeds. Now this is my cantaloupe, which I didn't have any trouble growing last year. I just had to make little cages to go around them to keep the raccoons from coming out here. But they're looking a little funky. So I just put a little baking soda water mix on them, and we'll see how that does. Been getting a lot of asparagus off of my little asparagus patch down at the left. Like 4 or 5 a day, and we tend to eat them sadly raw because that's how we roll. So one day I'll have enough to can, or I may have to hit a farmer's market for that. I saw Lilu. Oh, she had the most gorgeous home can jars, home canning of asparagus spears, and I got asparagus canning fever now. So I have a tomato down at this end from one of my greenhouse seedlings, and that is a squash. Got a little pale leaf. I just put it out here today. And then these are the striped beans I learned about on I'm Still Working channel. A little bush bean. And there's my alcachofas, my artichokes, and my little crackhead cabbage. That little cabbage is out of its mind, but I'm letting it do its thing. This is the type cage that I put around my cantaloupes when they start getting bigger. This one's out of chicken wire. You can see the other one is thicker. And then I've got basil, some oregano, some garlic chives, and some morning glories there in a little pot. That's my compost pile that likes to make some potatoes on occasion, so I'll let it do its thing. And then just a couple flowers. And then there's some more of the cages that we put around when the cantaloupe starts coming up and the raccoons, it befuddles them. Now here are some fabulous, that's dirt, because I watered them. These are some Roma tomatoes that my friend Diane started for me. And then Jerry Pruitt's seeds, Jerry P., he gave me some kohlrabi, which I am so excited about. My husband has a place to plant those. It's like a cabbage turnip. I've never had them before, but I just watched some YouTubes on using the leaves, just like you use it for when I make collards, something like that. And then he gave me some green peppers, some hung wax peppers, some things I've not grown before. And it is very exciting to share seeds with somebody and learn about them. So this is our little greenhouse area. And my husband's hooked up my low-pressure Holman timers that I've had about maybe 5 years now. They're Australian, you know. So that lets me water the garden at 6 a.m. in the morning. Because things are small right now, so it's every other day. But it is so exciting to have warm weather in the 70s and be gardening and seeing things come up. So this is a new area. It's got that same deer netting or fencing around it. Husband's got potatoes in there, some grapes, some squash. That's where the kohlrabi's going to go, in this long front row in the front. And to give you an idea of how windy it has been, that is a 10-foot John boat knocked over by these high winds, took out my little Ely. But the big tuna in the tribe are still standing. But the wind is unbelievable. So when you look for a property in the south and it says southern exposure, enjoy those southern breezes. That's more like a whippy, like hurricane wind, okay? It's not much of a breeze. It's a woo, knock you on your tail kind of thing. And that wind is tough on plants to give them a little wind burn, but the tide is leaving. All my little creatures are jumping. They got to make it past the beautiful oyster bed here. And that little sandbar is where the egrets and the herons and the ibises and the flounder love to lay. We have another one right over here. And if you lay your bait right there, it is Flounder Town. So it's a gorgeous day on the Marcia in the 70s. Sunshine. Can't beat it. And the fiddler crabs are down there frolicking. Things are alive here for the spring. And I caught a small blue crab the other day when I was out here fishing. Water's still chilly. So the blue crabs are coming, Scumpy. He's munching away. Slurp, slurp, munch, munch, nom, 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 nom. Fascinating little creatures. Back in his hidey hole. Later. Ooh, wave the claw. Gotta wave my claw. Hey! Oh! Small territory. So that is what's shaking the first week of April on the coast of South Carolina. And my pirate flag, she's a blowing. And the snakes woke up last week, had 2 rough snakes and a corn snake. The corn snake was under the house by a rake. One rough snake was crawling his way up my handrail to upstairs. That's how I found the corn snake. I went to get the rake to lift him off, and the corn snake was curled under the bottom of the rake. And then I almost stepped on another rough green snake. Non-poisonous. Do their thing.